Welcome to our channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to unravel the powerful technique of principal component analysis, commonly known as PCA. This dimensional reduction technique is key for data visualization and exploratory data analysis, simplifying datasets while preserving their variance. Let's get started. First, let's get an understanding of what PCA is. Simply put, PCA transforms data into a new coordinate system, where the greatest variance comes to lie on the first axis, the second greatest variance on the second axis, and so on. This means that we can reduce our dataset's dimensionality while retaining most of the variance. Before diving into the code, make sure you have Python and necessary libraries installed. Specifically, we'll be using NumPy, Matplotlib, and scikit-learn for our implementation. If you don't have them installed, you can use the following commands. I'll now create a simple dataset using NumPy. Let's say we generate random data that resembles a two-dimensional dataset. This will help us visualize what PCA does. In this snippet, we generated 100 random data points with two features. We then used Matplotlib to plot this data. Before moving on, make sure you run this code to see your original dataset. Next, we'll standardize the data. PCA is sensitive to the scales of the variables, so we need to ensure that each feature contributes equally to the distance calculations. We do this by subtracting the mean and dividing by the standard deviation of each feature. Now that we've standardized our data, we can see how it looks. It's essential to visualize this before applying PCA to understand how the transformation enhances our dataset. Moving on to the next phase, we can now compute the covariance matrix of our standardized data. This matrix will be crucial for determining how our features vary together. In the code, we used NumPy's covariance function to compute the covariance matrix of our standardized dataset. Feel free to check the output in your console. Next, let's calculate the eigenvalues and eigenvectors of this covariance matrix. The eigenvalues will give us an indication of the magnitude of variance captured by each principal component, while the eigenvectors provide the direction of these components. You should see a few eigenvalues that stand out. These correspond to the most significant variance directions. After calculating the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, we need to sort them. We will also select the top k eigenvectors that correspond to the largest eigenvalues, where k is less than or equal to the number of original features. Now, we'll transform our standardized data by multiplying it with the selected eigenvectors. This gives us the final PCA transformed data, ready for analysis or visualization. In this plot, you can see how our original two-dimensional data has now been reduced to a single dimension. This is the power of PCA, reducing complexity while retaining the essential characteristics of the data. Let's take a moment to summarize what we just did. We understood the essence of PCA, developed a simple dataset, standardized our features, computed the covariance matrix, extracted eigenvalues and eigenvectors, sorted them, selected significant eigenvectors, and finally transformed our dataset. That's quite a journey. There's a more efficient way to perform PCA using scikit-learn's PCA implementation, which handles all the steps we covered automatically. Let's check it out. As you can see, scikit-learn makes PCA incredibly straightforward. This method inherently encapsulates the entire PCA process and provides you with various additional functionalities as you can explore further. You can adjust the number of components and even examine explained variance ratios easily. The explained variance ratio shows the proportion of variance attributed to each principal component. In cases where you use multiple dimensions, this information can help you assess the importance of each component you are retaining. Before we wrap up, let's have a discussion on when to use PCA. It's invaluable when you're dealing with high-dimensional data, such as images or genetic data, where visualizing high-dimensional spaces can be challenging. However, it also comes with some considerations regarding interpretability and potential loss of information. We also need to note that PCA assumes linear relationships between features. Nonlinear dimensionality reduction techniques might be more appropriate if your data has nonlinear structures. Now, let me show you how to apply PCA on a well-known dataset, the iris dataset, to further cement our understanding. Here you can see the iris dataset reduced to two dimensions, clearly showing the distribution of different iris species in the new PCA space. This kind of visualization is what makes PCA immensely useful in practical scenarios. As we approach the end of our tutorial, remember that PCA is a foundational tool for many machine learning techniques. By reducing dimensionality, you can enhance the performance of various algorithms while facilitating exploration and visualization of data. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell to stay updated with future tutorials. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, drop them in the comments below. Until next time, happy analyzing